Well, Cura team, and welcome back to Alessandria. We are picking up pretty much exactly where we left off. I have done very little. I did do as I promised. I went round and I changed the reset bus stops, and I've changed some of the bus services. So you can see we've got things that are saying that there are people waiting, but not very many, which is great. And we did that for Civitella. We've got a bit of a lag here. The Risso Civitella bus. I put on an awful lot of buses, but it'll take a little bit of time before they get back around. The Civitella bus is doing fine. And the Santa C Civitella, there's no one currently waiting, although possibly eventually there will be. There's a couple of buses here coming from Civitella. One's got 5, one's got 9. So not quite full. Some of them are a bit close together. They might space out a little bit more. I might have to manually go and do that. Santa Caesarea is looking busy. There are some people waiting at the bus stops, and that's okay. It's not about having nobody waiting at the bus stops. It's that they're not waiting at the bus stops for a very long time, and that we're not overloading the bus stops, and then we lose because of our stops. So our stops here are listed as very good so far, which is fine. Our emissions less. So did the same out here at Castelvecchio. You can see we have a bit of a lag here. I did put some more buses on. That's fine. That's still listed as very good, so that's okay. And same down here, like I have said, this is the same line. There's actually 2 lines here. It looks like they're at the same bus stop. They're actually not. It's quite interesting. So there's if you put 2 bus stops together, it seems to be that it treats it as one, and it's kind of a bit of a nuisance because you can't have 2 bus stops too close together. So I might have to fix that, which is a bit of a pain. But otherwise, all the public networks is doing fine. I put in this coffee line. So this is the coffee chap here. So he is picking up 60. So if no, he's picking up 72. How many's left? 22. I might have to make him a little bit bigger. So I did this line, very nice sweeping curve. Then head up here, follow the side of the road because that's up the valley, and then peel off and then into here. And it's turned out nice, and that's because I've been using the landscaping tool a little bit more. So it can sort out some of these issues here. This is the flatten tool and this is the smooth tool. We'll go into some of the details of using these. So this is a little bit clunky here, so we can smooth that out a little bit by doing this, and that will help even out some of these grades. So you see we get this now nice sweeping area here, which is great, and this makes this whole area look really smooth, which is, I guess, the name of the tool. And I had to do that in some locations along here. I didn't want to do it through this cut because it's kind of, that is actually true that you would probably have a cut through there. There was some jankiness here, and you could still use it here a little bit. Just smooth this out a little bit, so this is a little bit more natural looking, and we can come right down to the edge of the motorway here, and we can make this look a little bit better, right? And that makes that whole slope look a little bit more natural. I think, which is pretty good. A place that I did identify that we need to do that is I changed the bridges that I said I was going to change, where I felt that you wouldn't spend that amount of money on engineering. Engineering is expensive stuff. Dirt is cheap, right? So you can go and dig up dirt from anywhere. So this is a little bit too much around here. It's kind of fine down here. We can maybe smooth this edges off, but if we smooth off these edges a little bit up to here, let's smooth off to this junction, because I don't feel like this junction sort of stands out. And when you've got too much of a grade as well, it seems to kill the grass off. So I don't think that this would be how they would do this. I think this would be a more natural kind of a grade out here. And I think that looks an awful lot better. We've still got some stuff out here, which is fine. We'll iron that out. We've got some on this side, which we'll iron out a little bit, because again, I don't think that they would build something like that. And then where we have this kind of extreme, we can just pair it off a little bit by making it a little bit wider. It's a shame that the grass isn't coming in so much, but we can make this look a little bit more natural sloping. And I think that's probably slightly more natural looking in terms of how I think that they would build something like this. And we could do the same around this side. This side having the trees helps a little bit because we can hide a few sins back there. Yeah, and we got that. So we've got that looking a little bit more. I wonder if we've got any painting. We have some grass. Now how does that look? That grass is a little bit too green. I think maybe this grass. Does this grass look good? That looks pretty good, doesn't it? There you go. We can hide some of that. We can put some of that in there. And then that takes that edge off. Right? Now look at it. Doesn't that look an awful lot better? That looks an awful lot better, doesn't it? So we'll go back to our terrain tools and we'll do the same on this side. So if you want to, take a little bit more care into the development side and the building side and wanting it to look a little bit more, well, natural, and also, not just like you're doing something on some kind of a crazy game, but it's actually something that could be built. You could obviously spend a little bit of time when you've got the money. I mean, I've obviously got money. This is costing me hundreds of thousands, right? You can see the counter ticking off there. So it does cost money to do this. It doesn't happen free. So it's up to you. If you've got the money to do it, then that's pretty good. And I've got the money to do it, so we'll do that. And there you go. That's that. That looks a little bit better. We've got some of the natural rock features and various other bits and pieces. So there you go. That's how you make things look just a little bit neater and a little bit better. And I haven't done it everywhere. There are places that we could do with doing stuff, and we might need to think about. There's a whole load of different kinds of things we could paint in here. Some of which we're never going to need, but and there's a whole load of assets which are great if you want to go to the bother of using really small assets like this thing, which is the Armco barrier, which is great. You want to put Armco around this whole motorway? I really don't. Fence, you could put a whole no, because you can't. I don't think with these you can't. If I were to try and line this up, say as a fence and make it a field fence, it's not draggable. So I can't make this a line of fences. It's like one bit of fence at a time, and I just don't have the willpower to do that for this entire map. So there's a little bit there we could tidy up. That's fine. I did kind of tidy up. Remember there was a little janky kind of a thing here. I did tidy it up. I kind of feel like this is a tricky one. I feel like this makes a little bit more sense because they've got to clear this line. So I feel like it probably wouldn't make a lot of sense to have an earthen bank and then another earthen bank and then a bridge. I could be wrong, maybe on this one, but I do feel that this still has a certain amount of reality about it. Whereas I think earth bank bridge would look a bit too weird. But there's bits here that could be fixed, and we can certainly go around and fix some of these things, smooth out these edges, put a little grass on it. Bits and pieces. Where I live, where you have embankments like this, they put down bushes and stuff. I don't know if we have bushes and stuff. I'm pretty sure we must. Yeah, the things here with that's an apple. Probably not painting apples. You got azaleas. That's not what we have, but you got elderberry. I don't know. That's a very big brush size. Let's make this a very small brush size so we can see what it looks like. Okay, you get some bushes. It's not the kind of bushes I was thinking about. Um, Maybe the azalea bushes make a bit more sense, kind of, but you have this issue where it doesn't paint them in exactly how you think it's going to paint them in, so you end up with this weird kind of pattern. I suppose you could just keep planting it and just keep planting it, and you end up with this kind of thing. Does that look any more natural? Um, yeah, probably not. Probably not. Anyway, it's up to you. We'll have a fiddle around with that one and see what we can come up with. Um, so yeah, I haven't done this side. There was this weird lumpy bumpy thing over here. I've kind of evened it out a little bit. You still end up with this lump and then a bump and then a. It's to do with something to do with the underlying terrain. I haven't quite fixed out. What I could do is I could go back here. I could delete the whole road and go back here and just smooth a big fat line, and make a big smooth ramp. So that's one of my buses. Let's see if I can get my bus to clear that, and hopefully the other bus doesn't come down here. It doesn't. There's another bus coming. So what I mean is, we'll delete this section of road, which has been bothering me, and it's pretty much a straight shot. So what we want is we want to go to the smooth tool, and we'll put it up in size because we want a little bit wider than the road, so probably about that much. And then we'll just kind of like try and smooth this out. So it's just a case of like running backwards and forwards a little bit. We've got some lumpy bumpy stuff there, which is a bit of a nuisance, and some lumpy bumpy stuff here, which is a bit of a nuisance. So this bit here is the bit that's the dip. So how are we going to do this with the landscaping tool? Well, you can use the flatten. Now what the flatten does is it picks wherever you start from. So I started from here, and it makes it that level. So then if I want it to be this level and I go this far, we've now got this going this level. Bring that a bit that way, and then what you can do is you can kind of smooth these gradients so you can make it a little bit more even. So we have this kind of thing happening now. So we now have this. Well, for a start, this seems a little bit high, so we can definitely do that. Now you can see that we're building out here. So that's now brought that up to the flat, which is fine. So we need to find a point at which I think we want this to come through. So that's coming through a little bit more even, which is fine. We can smooth out the edges. Let's not worry about that. And then we've got this hump. So what we need to do here is we'll try and take this and we'll try and smooth it down. Right, we've now got mostly smooth. So I think that we've now smoothed out that line, and we've still got this lump here, which is a bit too high. So we want to cut some of these down a bit. So think we kind of do that. Then we'll go up a level, and we'll kind of do that, and then we'll go up a level, and we'll kind of do that, and then we're up here at the top, and we'll do that. And I think we've sort of created a little bit of a step there. Sorry, smooth. Which I think made that a little bit more even. And then what we'll do is we'll put the road in and we'll see what it looks like. So this is the road that we want. We'll just check it's got the bus lane, no tram, etc, etc, etc. It's on curve, which is fine. We want to come down here like this. That doesn't look too bad. And then we'll come through here like this. Now that looks like a much better road, doesn't it? That looks like an awful lot nicer looking road. So we managed to get some of the hinkiness out, and then all we need to do when we get to here is we use the smooth tool. We'll just smooth these edges out. So we'll smooth that, smooth this side. We'll just run up to the top. We'll just run down here. Right, and that smoothed it out. I noticed that we had this thing over here. This does not make sense. Got a bunch of it over here. And some out here. So there you go. So that's now, look at that. Doesn't that look better? We've lost our bus lanes. That's fine. We'll go to our road and we'll go to our yes, we want a bus lane and we'll paint it in. Boom. Boom. Does this one not have a bus lane either? Why is it? It's telling me it wants a bus lane? I've already got a bus lane. Don't know why it wants me to... Don't know why it wants me to change that, but... Maybe it didn't have a bus lane. I don't know. Right, anyway, that smoothed that out. So that's nice. That's smoothed out. And you know, the other thing with these roads is, and it probably doesn't matter here, is these junctions are quite abrupt, you might say. And we don't have the tools, and I did say we will get them eventually. You get things like roundabouts and so on, fancy junctions. Because obviously, what we would want to do is if we were pulling a road off here, if you were coming off a motorway, your road would probably be some kind of a slip road, you know, like this, but unfortunately this game doesn't allow for slip roads, so wherever you join, you end up with a junction. So it's still a junction, it's just a weird junction, just a slightly more complicated junction. So that's not what we're doing in this game. So you have these junctions. So that's why you'll see in most cases I just make junctions square. I think it keeps them kind of neat. They get, when they get a little bit drawn out, they start to look a little bit ugly, in my opinion. There's not a lot we can do about that. I wish there was more fine-tuning of the roads that this game allowed for a transport game, but it doesn't. So that's interesting. But when we get the bigger tools later, and I'll go in the mod store and see if there's any other tools as well. Then we can maybe start fiddling with those. So that's it, really. I did some of that. I added another train to the oil route. Oh yeah, and I fixed this one as well. I say fixed it, but you know, I put in this earthen ramp because, like I said to you, I didn't think it really made a lot of sense for the bridge to be quite as large as it was. So that makes a little more sense in terms of things like that. And I haven't worried too much about the oil route line, but I can go around and fix some of those things and make them a little bit more natural looking. But that's not why you're here, is it? I mean, I wanted to take you through some of those little things, my thinking, and some of the tidying up I've been doing, and some of the tidying up I do. What we want to do is we want to do two things. We want to have a look at a passenger route, and we talked about a passenger route between Castelvecchio and Uzzano, which kind of makes sense, I suppose, to try anyway. And we don't have to build any bridges and so on and such like and thing. The only downside I have to this is the ring road comes around on this side of Castelvecchio, but goes around the other side of Uzzano. So where do we want this to go, and do we, you know, how many things do we want this to cross? There's quite some elevation here on this side, so realistically speaking we want the train on this side of this road. which fine, that brings us into the back of Castle Vecchio somewhere, and then possibly, yeah. So I think we want our train station out the back of Castle Vecchio. Now, out the back of Castle Vecchio at the minute, if I delete this, sorry house, is a nice big flat wide road. Which is very, very nice. So we've got this nice big road here. So an in-town road. In-town road. This is. We could even make this. That's a large one-way street inside the road. We could make this a large road. Um, I don't want it to be quite that. I want it to be. I just want it to be here. Yeah. So we could make this a large road. Because we're going to be putting a train station on that, and we're probably going to want to utilize this bus stop, so that's fine. And then Uzano. Now we have two options here at Uzano. We either have the train station outside the city and run a bus service into the city and see how effective that is, or we try and get it into the city. I think what we should do here is I think we should try the outside the city thing. So I can't. This will remove a lot of buildings at this stage, um, and they're residential buildings. But this is the kind of thing that we're going to have to do if we want these cities to grow eventually. So this just might be slightly helpful. That's a little bit of a bump. So what we will want to do here is I think we want to take this will be it's kind of odd to have this junction here, I suppose, on what is effectively a motorway. But like I said, we'll get fancy junctions later. So I think it probably doesn't matter to us how close we get to the motorway. Um, I mean, I suppose for the sake of it just not looking crazy, we'll do a straight line. Where's my 90 degrees? I want my straight on from the road. There we are. 180 is what it's called. And then actually what I want is I want it to be curved. So I want trying to master the curves is a tricky one. I think I want it to be no, that's too much. That's not enough. Still not enough. Yeah, it's not gonna let me. In which case we're just gonna have to go with straight again. Because we're going to want to put the train station on a straight road anyway. So we're going to put that there. It's 173 meters, which is plenty of space. And we'll just smooth that out a little bit so it doesn't look like a complete dog's breakfast, which is fine. Right? So we're going to put a train station there. And what I think we will do is I wonder if we can do that little tram bus station thing that I was going to try and do. If we can we stick it on the end? Would that be the best place to put it? Would it let us put it there? And we could do this like bus station. We could have the buses come in and have this like little bus station there. Because what you can do with these is you can configure them, right? So we can add more passenger platforms. We can add a small passenger building, right? So you can actually delete that and delete that, and you can put in a passenger building. You can delete that. You can't delete that. No, it didn't like that. When I deleted both those things, it decided it had enough. Okay, maybe just do it one at a time, eh? Right. It's gone. It's not gone. Right. Okay. Didn't like any of that. So let's try that again. Right. There we go. Now then, if we go in here and we go into configure and we delete that, can we put this in the place? We can't. We cannot. Why can we not put a building in? Once you've deleted it, is that it? No, that has to go there. Okay. So you can put a building at the end, but you cannot, and you can put a building there, and you can put a building there, but you cannot erase the thing. Because what you can obviously do is you can make these a little bit longer, and you can have different platforms. You can have a platform dropping off and a platform picking up. Exactly the same as you do with with train stations. So look, we'll leave that there for now. So we'll do this. This is like a little bus interchange that I wanted to experiment with, and we're going to need a train there, and we're going to need a train station there. So this is going to be a modular passenger station. Pardon me. 2 tracks, 120 meters. We want to try the high speed stuff. Let's do catenary for now, because there's a possibility that 387, 391, 364. It's a bit better over here. It's close to those residential houses. They aren't gonna like it. 377 out here, close to that bus stop. 381. Where would we put it? I think just here will be fine. So this is a passenger station. This is the covered platforms, which is fine. They're okay. It's obviously nice to have covered platforms. People don't want to stand out in the rain. And then we're going to do the same on this side. So we'll do the same layout. 120 high speed catenary, yes. We're going to snap on the side. We're going to put it there. And you see that the bus is lit up. So that means that people are going to come and it's going to recognize that bus stop as a transfer. So people will transfer direct from the train into the bus stop and go into the city. I see we've got a little bit of a lump there. Maybe we're going to have to work on, but otherwise, where do we think this would go? This is, I think, what is that? Is this a place for people to cross? That seems like, why is there a cross there? I don't know why there was that crossing line there. Is that because it lines up with this road? Oh, I guess it must, which is fine. I don't mind that. You know, and that's the other thing we have. We can't put I don't think there's anywhere in the roads where we've got a tool for a pedestrian crossing anywhere. Now, right, so anyway, so that's that passenger one and that's that passenger one over there. So we've got an industry kind of in the way, ish. So we're going to have to wonk around it. And we want to follow as near to the road as possible, I think. So let me get on and do that. With the high speed tracks, probably sped up a little bit. Right, there we are. So let's have a look at smoothing some of this stuff out. Smooth a bit of that out. How's our passenger station look? I think it looks pretty neat. Kind of sits in the landscape. Okay, not a drama. That's all right. Um, these came out comes out funny-ish, and then kind of comes back in again. So that's all right. We're kind of doing a little bit of smoothing down the line there. That kind of looks a little bit better. It seems to have kind of comes in, nearly touches, and comes back out again. It's not quite clear in how it's matching up. So actually, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Where does it break? It breaks about there. This outside line, I feel, comes in too close. So let us have a look at that. Sometimes it doesn't quite snap right, especially if it's going through cuts and things. So I think now that we've got that, that looks a lot better. So let's replace the signals that we took out, which is like one there and one there. Sorry. So yeah, so that looks a bit better. That looks a bit more believable, a bit more natural coming into the woods. There's a little bit of a kink there, but that's not unheard of in railway lines. We have this really dramatic cut here. Now that's also not actually that unheard of. We might smooth out the roadside a little bit. So we'll make the roadside a little bit less intense down here. So that's fine. We can do that. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't actually have a problem with that. The trees are a little bit odd. Specifically, that tree and that tree seem a bit out of place. Um, but the rest of it seems actually fine. We'll probably smooth that a little bit. We'll smooth this a little bit. So what I try and do is make the smoothing tool just slightly wider than the track, and then you can kind of run down the track a little bit. So where we have this here, I think it's probably better if it looks a little bit like that. There you go, that looks a little bit more natural, doesn't it? Run down the side here. We've got quite elevated on both sides here. It doesn't quite make sense. So we'll smooth that a little bit. Carry on running down the track. Got a little bit on that side, got smoothed out. Now this is definitely the kind of thing you can only do when you've got yourself an excess of money. Okay, we can make that a little smoother, and we can certainly make that a little smoother. So we'll smooth that side out, and we'll smooth that side out, which is fine. And then we'll just do a little bit of smoothing around the station. So the station should probably be sitting on ground that is more or less completely flat and level, huh? And we'll do a little bit around the bus area as well. A little bit up here. We've got a little bit on the side here. So there we go. There's our passenger service line. And doesn't it look good? And it's not a bad idea, I think. The train running down by the road. Certainly there's plenty of places where you'll see the train track running similar to the road, because they're all following the lie of the land and the easiest route of least resistance. Right, so what we need now is we need a line. So the line is going to be from Zano Castelvecchio, and we're going to let people use both platforms, and we'll just fill if we're available for now. They're only going to fill up with people. It isn't a cargo thing. And we're going to rename it. Probably we'll rename it the Castelvecchio Usano commuter. Yeah, let's call it the commuter. Commuter. I know you can't see the keyboard, but there you go. Castelvecchio to Usano commuter. So I don't think it really matters where we start the train. This is probably just as easy as any. So we'll put in the train building just right here. And sorry, what kind of train? We have this fella. This is the 100 km/h diesel. Takes 20 people, and it's 1.9 million. This might be perfect because once we head down, this is fine, but we need something to pull it. So, and we're not doing the Zephyr because it's 7.7 million. So I think there's no other choice at this stage. What's this? The heavyweight parlor, capacity 19. That's the only other one that's on its own, is it? No, this is a wagon because it doesn't have a power. Right. So I think we're gonna buy. Well, we should always buy two. But can you put two of them on back to back? You probably can, can't you? Not that I think that we want to do that, because you could do that, and then you see you've got an option to flip it around, and you could have like a push me pull you kind of a side of a thing. But let's not do that for now. We'll buy one, and we'll put it on the Castelvecchio to thingy, and then what we'll do is when it gets over here, we'll buy the second one, right? But we also need a bus route. Now, I've already given them their little bus depot thing, and these guys actually already have a building here. So I think you can see that this bus here, if I pick this up, I reckon people will go from the bus station. So I think this is already busy, and that's already busy, and we just want to get people into the city. So this is kind of an industrial area. This is kind of part of the city. But what about here? This seems to be like behind some of these major tower blocks. So this one, we can call this Castelvecchio station, right? So people can get the Castelvecchio station bus, and the Castelvecchio station bus is going to be one of these things. So he's already sorted, and we want a line here. So we're going to pick up a bus line here, and look at that, straight into the city. What's this? What about this one? No one's stopping here. Well, I mean, people are stopping here, but it's right in front of those big blocks. This one looks more central. Let's do that one. And this is the, we'll call this the Usano station. Right? And where's my Usano thing? Here we are. And we're going to buy one of those, and we're going to put him on the Usano station bus route, which is that one. Right? So, there we go. So we've got our bus route going, we've got our train routes going, we've got our train route going, we've got our bus routes going. We're gonna buy another one of those. We're gonna wait. So this is the guy here. Let's go for a little ride. Oh, if we can catch him. Come here, you. He's fast. Fast indeed. Oh, the signals are light signals now. Nice. I wonder when that happened. Don't remember that before. Anyway. Yeah, he's quick. Quickety quick, 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 quick. Right, and there he goes. And he's in. And there's one person there. So that's him done. And we should have this guy here, who we're going to put on the Castle Vecchio commuter 2. So he's heading out and he's heading back. He's going to stop, is he? I just need you, because you're so fast. I just need you to stop a minute. So this guy gets roughly the same distance. How far are you at? Like 1, 2, 3 signals? Right, okay. So as soon as he kind of hits there. Right, so hopefully they're about the right distance. So I'll just have to watch that. I'll just have to watch that and see. We have people lining up, lining up. So we have 2 of these. Is that halfway? That does not look halfway. So I'll need to balance these out in terms of how long it takes them to do things, etc., etc. And once that's sorted, I'll come back and we'll have a look at airports, shall we? See you soon. Right, okay, let's can the music. Right, okay, so we are back. So we have our little trains running, they look like this, which is kind of... This is great, isn't it? This is so period-esque. It's like a kind of a tram. It's like a big tram bus. Anyway, he's coming down. He's fully loaded. 20 people. $305,000. He's coming down here, and there's 14 people waiting, and there's 19 people here waiting at the bus stop already to go into. Oh, she looks happy. To go into the town. The bus is coming back. I'm assuming this is the bus. And here's the Uzano station bus. He's loaded as well, so he's going to pick up some people. Might need another Uzano station bus eventually. And this one, which is heading back this way, isn't quite so fully loaded. He's only got 14. He's going to drop people off. There is currently 11 people waiting, and this bus stop is looking busy. 10 of them. So they're hopping off the bus and going into the station, which is all great. So that's all working. So everything's working. Oh, and I put this fish line in, by the way. So I put this fish line in. 22 here. I've got a little shunter on. This little diesel shunter thing, which is great. If I can ever select him. So he's carrying 79 at the minute. I originally set him up with 84. I don't think the fisheries is going to make as much as that. It looks like a farm. It's obviously because this is a mod. They've obviously just modified farms. So anyway, and this looks like just a factory. So I don't think he's going to need to be quite so big, and I don't think I'm going to need more than one of them. So I can delete that, which I do not need. And this guy who is carrying, what did I say he's carrying? He's carrying 79 out of 84. 12. We'll check him again when he's gone down a little bit, I think. Which is fine. So airports, we want to have a look at airports. Let's have a quick look at airports. We're going to make it a passenger airport, and we're going to want to put it out here somewhere. Now, obviously, I would think airport. We want the terminal as close to the road as possible. I feel like there's already a road here from an old industry. We'll talk about that. but we don't want it too close to the town, although it's an industrial area mostly anyway. I don't think we want it too close to the town, and I think that old industry road gives us an opportunity to have a little loop road to come in to feed the airport. And I think that's our airport, and that's our little airport hub there with this little tree and everything, which is great. And it's 5.9 million, and it heads off down there. I think if we were to tweak it a little bit, and then it's heading off. It's just missing the trees, right? And it's just pulling in over the city, but it's missing that mountain. I think that will be fine there. And we have Santa Caesarea, and I feel like I want this to be this way around. I want it to be um, by the river. So we're going to have to create a link down here, which is fine. I don't mind that. So it'll be by the river. It's again. I think we can probably. What do we want? We want it parallel to the river. I think we want it just parallel to the river. That's 4.8 million. So that's fine, 4.8 million. And we probably want some nice wide streets that are going to come by here. So let's delete all of this. Because we're going to get rid of all of this. We're going to have, this is what's off here. Randomly goes off to the fish place way off in the distance, so it probably doesn't need anything super from us. I think that because this is kind of the main street, well, this is also kind of the main street, although it comes through this residential area, which is fine. Well, not delete it. Sorry. What we're going to do is we're going to widen it. We're going to make it that. We're going to give it a bus lane. It's not going to have a tram track. It is going to be mine. We're going to zoom in. We're going to do this bit, and we're going to do that bit, and we're going to do that bit, and it's going into the city like that. Ooh, got rid of the tower blocks. I hope they come back. And then we've got this lovely straight bit. So we're going to do the straight bit out in front, which probably doesn't need to be any longer than that. Although, do we want one of those hubs? I think we do. We can probably do it on the other side. So we'll do it there, and we'll do the curve bit. And I like doing, I learned this from City Skylines, that you do this curve here, and then you do this curve here. And, ooh, that hasn't quite worked out. We want it to be just there. And then what we'll do is we'll make that little bit straight, and then it will just go in there. And like I said, where's our smoothing tool? So we'll make our smoothing tool nice and large and smooth. And we'll smooth off some of this stuff around here. Smooth off around the airport. Oh, look at that. That's not right, is it? That is not right. Why has it done that? It's quite a problem. I wonder if I can get that to... Yeah, look at that. Let's get that flattened out from here. And then what we'll do is we'll flatten it out beyond the road. And then we'll then smoothen it when we need to. And I might have this other transport hub somewhere over here somewhere. So we'll just do that. One road, one big wide street, which is what we want. And then he can come all the way down here to the end. He still wants to do that lifting thing, and that's because what we want to do is we want to get the landscaping tool, and we'll do the flatten tool, and we'll flatten it out to here, which is fine. And then what we'll do is we'll do the road from like here down here. Seems a bit far away. Flat. And then we will use our smoothing tool. And then we will give it just a little bit of a lift. But we're going to want it to be curved. There you go. Right? That looks a little bit better. Then we'll use our smoothing tool out here. And now, there you go. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? Yes, yes it does. That looks a lot more realisticified. Sorry, one street over too much. Got a bus tram station. Won't fit there. Oh, will fit there. Great, because I wanted it kind of like at the end. I could put it on this side, so then people walk in. Yeah, do that. Oh, you know what I wanted to check? I wanted to see if, because this was a little trick in City Skylines, if you go from there to there, does it create a walkway? It doesn't. So it doesn't create a passenger. It creates a pinch, but it doesn't create a zebra crossing, sadly. You need a junction. So you would need to what? You would need to do that to create a zebra crossing. And then I think, the issue is to take that away and then put a bigger street in. You get that, but the minute you take that away, the zebra crossing disappears. Yeah, you can't. Maybe there's a way to fudge a zebra crossing in that you don't need to, do this kind of thing, because it creates a set of traffic lights and it creates this double junction, which is a bit of a pain. Maybe someone's figured out a fudge for it. I don't know. Right. Anyway, so we've got the plane station. We've got the plane station out of town. What we need to do is we need to do the same here. So I think that this, what is this? Yoinks. We're going to need to do a little bit of rearranging on this one as well. Right, okay, so here we go. This one looks pretty good. It's a little bit sharp on the corner, but that's okay. I think we can give it a little smooth. There we go. Smooth it out a little bit on the corner. We've got the lovely road that comes in, smooths everything out, lifts up a little bit, and we increase so we've got preferential bus route. At least in theory, anyway. Doesn't have to end up like that, but we're starting to try and see if we can increase some of the road networks inside the cities. Hopefully, this is going to help our cities grow. So we have this link route, which is perfectly fine. All we need to do is we need to load up a line. So we're going to start with a line here. We're going to start from Lugano. We're going to fly out to Santa Caesarea, and we're going to call it Lugano. I think to what should we say? If I can get this right, Lugano, Santa C, A for oh no, I got error. Lugano, Santa C error, which is perfectly fine. So what are we going to put on this? Well, look at all these little passenger planes we got. We got this one, which is like a diddy little number. And then we go up to this thing, which is the Douglas C-49. Oh no, that's cargo. Douglas DC-4. Oh, it's a legend. Got DC-3, which is also a legend. 10 and 15, 10 and 15, 10 and 15. What's the difference? 1.7 million. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to buy one here, which is great, and we're going to put him on that one, which is fabulous, and we're paused. And what we'll do is we'll go over here, and we'll do exactly the same on this side. We'll buy a DC3, and we'll put him on the same line, and we'll hit go. And they'll both come out, and they'll both start heading off in opposite directions. So there you go. So we've got our first Alessandria Airlines planes in the air. Look at this thing. This was when people cared about planes looking awesome. That is an awesome looking plane. I want to fly in a plane that looks like that on the outside, but it's a lot more flash on the inside. So there you go. Alessandria Airlines up, and away, which is great. So let's see how that works out. And if you don't know, you can't actually go in the cockpit of these things like everything else. So we'll go for little flies, a little noisy. And that's the end of this one, Alessandria Airlines. So yeah, so we've done a little bit over there somewhere where the airport is and our towns are. And we're flying over the river, and we've got our trains over there, and we have our boats over there, and barely enough time for a cup of tea, and we're landing again, which is fabulous. That's real speed, which seems terminally slow. And yeah, hopefully that's it. I'll see how this goes. I'll run this for a little while, see if these airports make money or don't make money. And when it comes back, I think some investors want to invest in some new industries, and we'll see how that turns out, shall we? Do click that like, do subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so you know when the next one of these is coming out. Do feel free to drop a line, add a comment, and provide any tips or tricks of your own, and I'll see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now.